traders, I'm going to answer a question that I got from Ashley on one of my videos just recently, and I want to help this person out. Now, I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who trade the markets, or a lot of people watching this video right now, are in the same boat. So that's what I'm going to do right now, guys. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial loss. There's so many more areas you need to know to become a good trader in the markets, and that's what I'm going to help you out with this video. So let's get straight into it, guys. So the question that I got from Ashley actually 3 hours ago says, "Hi John, what can one do if 1 week you are profitable, but the next week you are completely blowing your account back to back?" So the thing that I said to this person, I said to Ashley just recently, I said to her, "Can you tell me more about what's going on, and I'll see what I can do to help." And then so Ashley said, "I have been trading for about 2 years now, and I'm noticing that I will have one good trading week out of the month, and the rest would be losers. Also, I am a foreign exchange trader." All right. Okay, fantastic. So give me a bit of a background here, Ashley, on your trading here. So here is the thing about Ashley. Here's one of the biggest. There's the three components that goes into becoming a successful trader. And what are those three components? Let me bring it back down here. What are those three components? The first one here, the first component, number one, is you need to be consistent. Now, consistent, Ashley, simply means that if you're going to be a foreign exchange trader, or if you're going to be a foreign exchange trader, and I'm guessing that you're probably trading intraday basis, because you think that the more trades you have, the more money you're going to make, which is completely wrong in the markets, by the way. The more trades I have, the more money I actually end up paying in brokerage, and the more losses I have, the more mistakes I have. The less trades I take, the more money I make. It just seems to be that way. Now, firstly, you need to be consistent. Consistent when it comes to the markets, is that you need to trade the exact same time every time. So if you can't be consistent every single day, it's showing up. If you're trading, say, 3 or 4 hours, you call it 4 hours per day, right? 4 hours per day. If you cannot trade the 4 hours per day every day, then don't do that. Because your job, if you want to be a trader, is to turn up to your job and be consistent at turning up every single day. A lot of traders, what they do is they go, "Oh, well, I'm going to turn up today. Oh, well, it's okay. The market's going to be here tomorrow, so I'm going to take some time off." Now, it's okay, I know, if you've been trading, say, for 6 months and you want to take a whole week off just to recharge, that's okay as well. You know what I mean? Like, that's different. That's just taking some time off. But if you're saying, "Oh, I'm going to trade this day here, but tomorrow I'm going to trade," and all that sort of stuff, that's where most traders completely go wrong. You've got to be consistent in the markets. All right, you've got to be so consistent. So the first thing I say is that you've got to be consistent at trading the markets at the exact same time every time. The second thing I must say is you need to be disciplined. Discipline. This is one big thing here. The second, and I'll get to the third one in just a minute. The third one, the discipline here is Ashley. The discipline comes from: are you trading, when you are trading right now, are you trading when you think it's a good idea? Well, the market's actually broken down right now, so it looks like it's going to go down, so I'm going to go short. Or the market's broken up right now, so I'm going to go long. Or the market's been going up for quite some time right now, so let me get in. As like, there's a lot of things that goes into a trader. And the one thing, Ashley, is that discipline. If you don't have your one simple edge that you know that works for you, then you're always going to be doing that, right? You're always going to be guessing, second guessing. Should I be in? Should I be out? Is this a trade? Is it not? All that sort of stuff. And if you want any consistency with your trading, Ashley, it comes down to not one trade or 2 or 3 trades that matters. It's a basket of trades. So it's 20 trades in a row that matters. So when you're looking at that, the reason why I say that is because, Ashley, when it comes back down to your discipline, the discipline is to take your one trading setup. If you don't have your one trading setup, which means your one pattern you're looking for on the chart, if you don't have that, that's where you need to start before you start trading live. Because how can you trade the market? Remember, the market's based on probability, not certainty. Probability simply means that any single given trading strategy is going to have a win-loss ratio. Some of them are going to be 90% win-loss ratio. Some of them are going to be 60% win-loss ratio, meaning some systems out there. But you may find, Ashley, that when you do have your one simple edge, that you're right 7 times out of 10. So you're right 70%. So you have to accept the fact, Ashley, that if you look at if you take your one simple edge, you need to take 20 trades, and you need to accept the fact that you're going to have, say, a 70% win-loss ratio. That simply means that any given trade, the trade that you say, this is one trade today, this could be part of that 30% loss, and you need to accept that up front. You need to accept that up front, because there's nothing you can do about that. You just got to make sure that when you are trading, that you're getting out at certain times, where you actually have your stop loss to get out to protect your account. And this is one of the biggest things there, right? Because you may have this trade here, this trade here, this trade here, this trade here. You never know up front, and that's the reason why over 20 trades, that's where you're going to see your win-loss ratio. Over 20 trades, over 20 of this same trade, not, well, I'm going to take this one here because it's off support, and I'm going to take this one here because it's a moving average crossover, and I'm going to take this one here because the RSI looks like it's overbought. Do you see what I'm saying there, right? There is no consistency. How can you get probability out of something that every single trade you take is completely different to each other? To see the probability, the consistency in a trading system, you need to take the similar trading setup almost every single time. Now, here's where that's your first part there. That's where most traders go wrong, is that they don't do that. I guarantee you, Ashley, that if I looked at your trading register, I guarantee you, for your last 20 or 30 trades, they're probably all of them probably look almost different to each other. Make sense? So it comes back down to that there. Now once you have your one trading setup that you believe in, now number 3 over here is you need to be patient. And this is a big thing, Ashley. And for most people that are trading the Forex market, they don't realize how tough it is. See, trading the Forex market on a 5-minute chart or a 1-minute chart or a daily or a 15-minute chart, trust me, I do it, Ashley, right? I do trade those markets. And it is far harder for you to trade those markets than trade like I also trade, which is just 1 hour a day trading the daily chart on the stock market. It means I'm just looking for the daily chart, doing my scans, looking for my one setup, and then I'm placing a trade today, trading 1 hour, and then I'm in that trade 1 to 4 days. Right? It's far easier to trade that way because I only have 1 hour to go through my scans, to see what setup I have to get into today, and then follow it along over the next, say, 1 to 4 days. So therefore, it comes back down to your patience now. Now, you have to be extremely patient. And this is when it comes to your standards, Ashley. If you are consistent every single day, you are disciplined, meaning that you're taking your setups there, right? Disciplined to taking your setups. But you become impatient because the way the Forex market works through there, and trust me, I have a 7-figure coach who only trades the futures and the Forex markets on a 2-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, hourly charts across probably 10 to 12 different markets. And the biggest thing that stops traders, is their impatience. Meaning that you may sit in front of your screen for say, for example, your time is, say, 4 hours to trade the markets. So if your time is to trade 4 hours in the markets, just say, for example, Monday, and you sit there the whole time, you have to be patient, and you are not to take a trade unless what? Remember this one simple edge over here? That one pattern that that works shows up on the charts. Whether it is a 1-minute chart, 2-minute chart, 5-minute chart, you need to have that. And that's the reason why I say the first thing you really need is your one simple edge that you're looking for, the one pattern, to know exactly what you're looking for. And then your job, and this is where most traders go wrong with that, and this is where even my own experience, actually, even recently in the last few months, is that Monday, I might be trading the market for 6 hours a day. And guess what? No trades. I cannot take a trade unless it meets my plan. My plan is to take this setup every single time. Nope, there was no trades. Tuesday, no trades. Wednesday, no trades. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And now what happens? Because you're sitting in front of the screen for that long, and now you've been saying, I've been doing this now for 12 hours and there's no trades now, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now you become impatient. It's like, oh, I just want to get in the market. I'm seeing all these different markets go for big runs up and big runs down and all this sort of stuff. And now you become impatient. And guess what happens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Guess what happens on Thursday? Now you start to take a couple of trades that didn't meet the plan, and now not only was there no trades, but now they're losers because you shouldn't have taken the trades in the first place. So now your account is down by you being impatient. And guess what happens Friday? No trades. So your account was actually down for the week, where it could have just been flat, keeping your powder dry, waiting for that opportunity to get into the markets. Do you see what I'm saying there, Ashley? So this is one of the biggest things that I guarantee you're probably struggling with right now, is your impatience. My coaches who trade these markets, or my coach right now who trades this market, the reason why he is so successful is because he will sit there day after day after day after day. The reason why I've done so well out of foreign exchange markets is that exact same thing. I can watch all the 2-minute chart, the 5-minute chart, the daily charts, the 15-minute charts, the hourly charts, all these different time frames across, say, 10 different markets. Silver, gold, DAX, S&P 500, for 6 different US pairs, etc., 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 right? Copper, oil, those futures and forex markets. But the number one thing that stops people from doing well out of the markets and actually end up going backwards is their impatience to wait for their setup that works. And if you look at this over a month worth of your trading, I guarantee you that there's only some weeks there's a few opportunities to do really well, and then other weeks there's no opportunities. But by you being impatient and by you trying to force it and try to rush it, you actually end up going backwards. So the answer to your question there is that I've been trading for 2 years right now, and I'm noticing that I'll have one good trading week out of a month, and then the rest would be losses. I guarantee you, Ashley, if you looked at that one good trading week, you're probably a lot more calmer, you're a lot more relaxed, and you're waiting for some good trading opportunities. Then guess what ends up happening? You have one good trading week, and now you want to make more money. So then you're like, I want to make more money. I want to have another good week like that. And guess what? And that's the way foreign exchange works, right? 1 week you may have 4 trades or 5 trades, and they're all wins, and you're on fire. And guess what? In the second week, no trades. You're like, hang on a minute, I just made 2 grand last week. I made 10 grand last week, or whatever it is. And now second week, I want to make that money again. And now because you're focusing on making money and not being a good trader, now everything just goes out the window. You're not consistent. You're not disciplined. You're not disciplined to take that setup every single time, and you're not patient. And along with that, Ashley, is that you shouldn't be blowing your account up, because guess what? Remember I said before about amongst these 20 different trades, you need to be in a situation where you have good risk management, where the trade you are taking right now, that if it is part of, say, that loss ratio that then guess what? Then you need to be okay with saying, okay, even if my next couple of trades are part of that loss ratio, I don't see, when I'm trading, I never know up front which trade's going to be part of my losing, which is part of my loss ratio, and which part is also part of my win ratio. Makes sense? My win-loss ratio. A successful trader doesn't have to be right to be rich. I just want to be a good trader. And what that simply means is that if I look at the market right now and I take everything off the screen here, the thing is that once you have your one simple edge, people rather be right than rich, right? So me, I'd rather just trade it. And what I mean by that is if you look at your one simple edge, we know there's going to be a win-loss ratio, right? So for me right now, I get around about a 90% win-loss ratio, right? My system delivers a 90% success rate. What causes that to go down sometimes? Me taking shit trades and so on and so forth, right? Staying in too long, all that sort of stuff. So, well, forget saying that here for a minute. Let's just say your one system here delivers an 80% win-loss ratio. Well, guess what? Even though we know consciously that there is a win-loss ratio to this trading system you're trading right now, people want to be right. So this one trade right now, guess what? They want to make money. Oh, it was a losing trade. I can't believe that was a losing trade. Don't beat yourself up out of it. Don't get emotional about it. If this trade here right now was exactly what your plan said so, it was just part of the loss. If it wasn't part of your plan because you're rushing, guess what? Now you're skewing your results even more. That's where it comes down to discipline and consistency and discipline to taking that one setup only. And now guess what? And now your next trade here, is it going to be part of the loss ratio? Just because you have an 80% loss ratio doesn't mean you can't have 2 or 3 losses in a row. Makes sense? So don't try to be right with the market. And I guarantee you, if this trade here was a losing trade, well, now you're starting to freak out, right? So even if part of these 2 trades were part of the 80% or the 20% loss, the 20% losing trades, even though these 2 may be there, now you're saying, oh, well, did I do something wrong, and so on and so forth. Now, generally speaking, if there is a losing trade, there's always something you can learn about your losses, right? But now guess what ends up happening? Now you're freaked out, and now you'll sit there and paralyzed because you don't lose any more money, mainly because you're putting too much of your account on one trade and not accepting the fact that if this is a losing trade, if my next 2 or 3 losing trades in a row, that I want to protect my account as much as possible. Makes sense? So now what do we have? We have this one here, and now guess what? You sit back and you watch 3 or 4 trades go by, win, 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 win. So now by you picking and choosing, instead of saying, here is my plan, here is my setup, I'm going to take the trade, regardless of what I think, hope, or fear. And that's where you got to remove the emotions from trading. Most people want to make money from trading, so they trade the markets. If you flip it on head, you need to learn how to trade well, then you'll make money from the markets. Trading well is everything that I've talked about here. Now, on top of all of this, then what you need to do is every single month, once you've got your plan, once you've been consistent, disciplined, and patient, and now you've got your entire plan done, and now you know you don't need to be right to be rich in the markets, because I guarantee when you do try to pick the market, your thought is always going to be wrong 9 times out of 10 anyway. So that's where you don't need to listen to that emotional brain. It's just like listen to the system. Then guess what happens? Every single week, or at least every single week if you're trading intraday, then you need to record. So you need to record every single trade you take. Record every single trade, even if it's a losing trade, even if it's a trade you shouldn't have taken. Don't throw it on this rug. No, you need to learn from that. Record every single trade. Keep a spreadsheet of it. Then you need to review those trades. So once a week, at least once a month, right? Go back, record every single trade, and then after, say, a week, every single week when you're looking at all the trades you're taking, then you need to review them on a weekend when the market's closed. Record, and then review all those trades that you record, screenshots, go back to those trades and say, what can I learn from this? And then say, okay, next week I need to improve on what? And then guess what? That's your main focus, to improve. And then guess what happens? Now you start to get better and better and better trading, because now when you do this, you're seeing, oh my goodness, I'm 30% of my losses or 40% of my losses are trades that I shouldn't have taken in the first place because I was so impatient. And that's when you start to see what your impatience is actually costing you. This actually happened to me. I was taking so many trades, but then when I recorded and then I went back into review several months of doing this, I'm thinking, damn, 80% of my losing trades are actually coming from me taking shit trades because I was impatient. And guess what? When you start to see that, it's like, I can see the pain it's actually causing me. Record, review, and improve. And then guess what happens there, Ashley? Now guess what? Now you have your one simple edge that you know that works for you. You're consistent, you're disciplined, and you're patient. And even if you're doing that right, now guess what? Now and then 2, now you're recording, you're reviewing, and you're improving. CDP RRI equals amazing trader. There you go. That's the formula. Makes sense? So now guess what? Now we're looking at that. Once you start doing this, and And once you start doing this, then guess what happens? You may start down here. You might have week one and say this is week 1 through here. You may have a losing week, but guess what? Go back over that and say, okay, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And so on and so forth. How many of these trades was actually part of how many trades was this actually part of the plan that I should have stuck to? How many trades wasn't? And so on and so forth. And then you start to say, man, I can see 50% of my trades that I took this week because I was impatient. Man, okay, cool. So this is a losing week. Even though it was a losing week, guess what? You're recording, you're reviewing. What do I need to improve on this week? What's the big thing I need to improve on this next second week through here? Oh, okay, I need to focus on just sticking to the plan because I can see last week that my count is actually down. I may not even had a losing week. I may haven't had a break-even week this week. If I just didn't take those shit trades. Okay, I just need to be more patient. So every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, now guess what? Now your focus, your number one focus is it my plan, yes or no? And every time you go to take a trade that's not your plan, you need to say, okay, what were my lessons last week? If I take trades that don't meet my plan, most of them are going to be probably losses. And secondly, it's going to cause me to go backwards. So I can't take this trade. Doesn't matter how enticing it looks. And then guess what? At the end of this week, you record, you review, and improve. Record simply means when you take the trade, at that very time you take the trade, you record the actual trade. Then at the end of the week, you review all those trades, look at the trades, go back to those trades, and then guess what? Week 3, week 4, you keep doing this. And then over time, not only will you get better and better and better because you're actually seeing it firsthand how much of your habits are actually causing you stopping you from going backwards. But then what's also happening is now you're actually starting to move forward in a big way through there. Makes sense? And so now you're starting to increase and get better and better at this. So yes, your week 1 might be a losing week. Week 2 might be a losing week. Week 4 might be three might be a losing week. Week 4 might be a losing week. But your account may be down 20% here. Then week 2 your account is down say 15%. 15%. Week 3 your account is down 5%. Week 4 might be break even. What's that mean? You're actually getting better and better each week. This is how, and then once you continue doing this, if you look at your whole, say, 12-month plan of doing this, start is where you're starting, and the star is what? The star is where, is where you want to be, say 12 months from now, okay? You start looking at this here, right? This is say, and if you do this, say this is say month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, 6, and then all the way up, say to 12. Makes sense? So that's what it's sort of gonna look like because it's gonna have a few months there where you might go backwards. You may have a few good months, then you might go back into some old patterns. But by you recording, reviewing, improving, reviewing, improving, one thing I have found by doing that, when I record, especially when I review, I see how much money it's actually costing me by doing these habits. And then I see firsthand, man, last month I took bloody 20 trades, but only 3 of those trades really met my plan. Guess what? All 3 of those trades are profitable. Damn, I had a fucking losing month once again because of this. I kept taking these trades. What can I learn from these trades? But then also, guess what happens, Ashley? When you start to go through this process, one, you'll start to learn even the smallest details of what a good setup looks like, and secondly, you'll get better at trade management, meaning that you'll know exactly how to manage these trades afterwards. Do you hold on for a long time? Or is it one of those systems where you're getting in and getting out within a few candles or a few bars? Makes sense? This is exactly what happened to me. I just come off one of my most consistent profitable months, and that all comes back down to because exactly that, right? Because it actually has to come down to my trade management. Because me recording, reviewing, improving, even throughout this year, guess what? When this entire year throughout this entire year, I was, or throughout the last, say, 6 to 9 months or whatever, I realized that my trades are doing this on average. So majority of my trades will make profits. For me, it's 1 to 4 bars or 1 to 4 days. That simply means when I get in on a daily chart, guess what? Day 1, day 3, day 1, 2, or 3, or 4, one of those here I have a very high probability chance, if I'm taking the right system, to run off a profit. It's my job to take that profit and move on to the next trade and not try to hope for too much profit. If I'm trading options over the markets and I'm only at a 20% profit, it doesn't matter what I hope or what I want. No. If the market's saying here's 20%, then you need to take that and run off the table. So there is all these areas on the foundations of what makes a successful trader in the markets. And if you don't follow this process, that's how you can spend year after year after year after year not doing well in the markets. Makes sense? But this is also how you can hear stories of a trader starting with a $1,500 trading account, and 5 years later, they're making 7 figures a year. Why? One setup, they see their one pattern that they believe in. They record, they review and improve. Record, 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 review and improve. And that's how they get better and better and better. So I hope this video here really, really, really helps you out. And anyone here that can see this, what I'm saying right now, is that if you follow this process, this is how you start to slowly make progress in your trading. It doesn't happen overnight. This is where most people don't want to do the work. But if you do the work, you can have an amazing, amazing, amazing time in the market. So I hope this helped you out, Ashley. Before you go, make sure you grab the free Grab the Markets by the Balls training course. In this training course, you're going to learn the top 13 deadly mistakes, the success formula, charting boundaries, the PT method, the ultimate trading system, the blast off trading system, #1 in trading indicator, the $1 million trade and money management, how successful traders approach the market, and so much more. Get this trading course for free right now. Click on the very first link in the description to get this whole complete trading course to give you the edge on your side of trading this market. Do that right now, and I'll see you on the other side.